Hey there, YouTube community. I'm here with a really big book haul today. I am so excited. So let's dive right in. First, I want to show you the books that my kids got for all their summer reading. We did 3 summer reading programs this summer. 2 of them were like separate, they did them, and then the third one kind of added everything together because it counted hours instead of number of books. So it had to add everything together. So they did 3 programs and all 3 gave them a free book. It was awesome. Make sure you look around at the beginning of summer to see what options are out there for you to do. It's a great way to get them reading over the summer and to reward them, but to reward them with a book, which is great. It just encourages more reading. So we did The Good and the Beautiful. From The Good and the Beautiful, my kindergartner got Facts About Cats and Dogs. He loved this. He loves to look through it. The kittens are so cute. My kids love kittens. We have both cats and dogs. And so you just learn about both of them. And my kids, both my kindergartner and my 3rd grader, absolutely loved this book. Looking through it now, my kindergartner could help me read some of this book, which he will be really excited about, because his reading has come so far. He earned this at the beginning part of the summer, so he'll be really excited. From The Good and the Beautiful, my 3rd grader got Johnny McKee and the Big Flood, and he actually really enjoyed this book. He read it, both of these two were read to include in their Barnes & Noble reading after they finished The Good and the Beautiful, and he really enjoyed this. The reading is still nice and big. It has some pictures, which he appreciates having to breaking up the writing a little bit with some pictures every once in a while. He said his favorite part is that the flood happens kind of towards the beginning of the book instead of taking forever leading up to it and then just having it happen at the end and resolve really quickly. He liked that the flood was towards the beginning and then the book was dealing with the flood. And my 6th grader got The Lost Kingdom, which is a story set in India. He has not read it yet, so I can't tell you yet what we think about it. It does actually have some pictures, little pictures to break it up every once in a while. But I've heard it's good, so I'm definitely still going to encourage the reading of it, but we haven't gotten to it yet. From our local library, my kindergartner picked out this book called Scout from the Puppy Play series, and this is something that him and I will read together as it is a chapter book, and it doesn't have any pictures in it, so that'll make us sad, but he likes books about animals. So we got this, and if we like it, then we can get others from the series. From the library, my 3rd grader picked up Flora and Ulysses. He picked this up because we had just read Mr. Limoncello's Library Olympics, and the very last book in the series that they had to find was Flora and Ulysses. So it really stuck out to him. He wants to know what it's about. It's by Kate DiCamillo, which he really enjoyed. He read Because of Winn-Dixie last year and liked that, and we're currently reading The Tale of Despero. And he will like that it does have pictures to break it up. So we have not read it yet though, so I can't tell you what we think of it. And then my 6th grader picked up 10 True Tales, Heroes of Hurricane Katrina. He has 2 other books from this 10 True Tales series, one about Pearl Harbor and one about the Iraq War, and he really, really enjoyed them. So he saw this and just immediately said, yep, that's the one I want. Then from Barnes & Noble, they had a really good choice of books for older kids, but their choices of books for younger kids was a little small. My kindergartner got Pete the Cat, Super Pete, and he loved it. It was really good. Yeah, there's not much else I can say about that. He will be able to start reading some of this book soon, which will be fun for him. My 3rd grader got Bad Kitty, which is below his reading level. It's kind of a comic book style. And he read it in the time it took us to drive from Barnes & Noble to our house. And he liked it, but he didn't love it. He didn't ask me for more. You know, if he had asked me for more, I would have been willing to get them from the library, just because anything that he decides he likes and wants to read, I encourage, because he's not an avid reader. He's not a struggling reader. He reads great, but he's just not an avid reader. He doesn't love it. So if I can find things he likes that, then I will usually let him read them. So if he ever asked to read another of these, I would probably get it for him, but he told me that, it was fine. And then my 6th grader got Keeper of the Lost Cities, which this is a thick book. And the funny thing is, I had been trying to get him to read this book for a really long time. I have a number of friends who have kids his age, and their kids like the same books as him, and they all their kids loved these books. His cousins, who he likes the same books as, kept telling him to read these books, and he, for some reason, kept fighting it. So suddenly, when he got it as his own book, as a reward, suddenly he was like, yeah, sure, I'll read it. Plus he was bored on the drive home. It was like a 20-minute drive home. So he started reading, and he was hooked, and he devoured it, and he loved it. And now I can't get him to read the second one. He's giving me pushback on that for some reason, even though I keep reminding him, you loved the first one. So he finally started the second one last night. So hopefully he'll keep going on that. He's kind of notorious for starting books, and he'll read 5 books at a time, and so he'll kind of start one, and then he won't get back around to it for a while. I don't know. His reading style drives me crazy, but hopefully he likes the second one as much as he liked the first. So that was our summer reading. Now, on to the rest of the books. I went to 2 consignment sales with my number one intention being looking for books to build our library, looking for books, games, puzzles, other homeschool stuff, things I can use in our homeschool. And so I got a lot of books here. So we're going to go over the books right now. So I'm going to start with books that I had in mind for my kindergartner. The first was this Spectrum Readers book. Now this is a really thick book, but it is 8 books in one. Each page just gives a little blurb about whatever is on that page. And this is totally something that we will use in science. The pictures are great to look through, and it gives us just little things to talk about for him. So I saw this and I immediately thought of him. He loved the book If You Give a Mouse a Cookie, and I found If You Give a Mouse a Brownie. It's literally the same story, except, obviously the mouse wants different things, but it's the same story. But he loved it, and it gave me a project to give him. I think it was the first day of school. In here, the mouse creates a band, and he creates posters. So when we finished, I told my kindergartner, I gave him some paper and some markers, and I told him to create a poster of his band if he created a band. And he thought that was really fun. I got him the book We Are Growing, which is very simple. This is what it looks like. But he loves this book. One, it's really cute. It's funny. It has a good moral to it. But what he loves the most is he can read almost everything in this book by himself. And when he realized he could do that, he was looking through it one day and he was like, Mom, I can actually read this book. Suddenly he was so excited, and this became one of his favorite books. So I'm really glad I grabbed it for him. Over the summer, we went to the library. I would let him go into the kids section, and I would tell him, just go pick 5 books that you think look interesting. Since he couldn't read, everything was based off of what the cover looked like. So we would get really random books. And we read a book called Miss Spider's Wedding, and he really enjoyed it. It's more of a poem rhyme type of book. It was really funny. And so I found Little Miss Spider's Sunny Patch School, which is the same spider. Apparently it's a series. And I got this for him. The pictures are super fun. They're bright and they're colorful. And he really loved this school this book. And this was good to read on the first week of school because it's about a girl or a spider going to school for the first time. So he really loved this one. I got him this compilation series of Dick and Jane books. It has 3 books in one, and in each book are different stories. And each story is only a couple of pages long. So you can see this is the story of Jane and Puff with these cute little pictures. And 4 pages later, the story is done. And it repeats itself over and over. And it really works on a lot of the sight words he's learning. The funny thing is, I'm pretty sure it was this exact same book, was at the first consignment sale I went to. And the people priced it at a price that I wasn't willing to pay for a used book. I don't go to consignment sales looking to pay $10 for a book. Even if it's a good book. I can do with other books. Like, that's just me. That's if I want to pay for like a really nice book, I'll order it off Amazon probably. So I didn't buy it. I was like, oh, that looks like a really good book, and I debated. It wasn't $10. It was just still more than I wanted to pay for a book. You know, I went looking for books that were like $1 to $2, and so I didn't get it. And then I went to the second consignment sale, and I found the same book, and it was priced lower. So they obviously learned to price it lower. And I went on a day that things were like 35% off. So I got it so much cheaper. And at that point I was like, it's a sign. I'm supposed to have this book. So I grabbed it. And we are using it to kind of break up our reading curriculum. You know, we'll work all week on our actual reading book. And then on Fridays, we'll read like a story from here. And we'll work on reading a like reader book that we have, like different reader books. So we can break it up and do things a little different. I found him a set of 4 books of Pete the Cat books. To go along with his Super Pete. He loved that Super Pete so much. And so when I saw these, I was like, oh, he's going to be so excited. Plus, these are even more simple than Super Pete was. So he will be able to start reading these soon, which he will really, really love. So I got Sir Pete the Brave, Pete's Big Lunch. This is his favorite, I think. Pete at the Beach, and The Bad Banana. I found this book, and this one comes with a little warning. I am a Tyrannosaurus. My 2 younger boys, my 3rd grader, my 5th grader, absolutely, they really love dinosaurs. They're not like obsessed with dinosaurs, but they really enjoy them. So I got them thinking both boys would enjoy it, and they did. Okay, they were both in the room when I read it. The pictures are just these painted pictures. And the problem was, Mom did not like go through and pre-read this book. And at one point it describes the Tyrannosaurus eating the prey that it catches. And it uses, I mean, it's just, my 3rd grader was like, Mom, that's a little graphic. And I was like, why, you're right, it is. Let me give you an example. Maybe not. Anyways, it just describes him killing it and eating it. It's not gory pictures, so if you find it, you might just want to change the words when you read it out loud. Just a little. Or maybe not. My kids thought it was hilarious. But the whole time I was reading, I was like, oh my goodness gracious. That makes me sound like my grandma when I say that. Anyways, moving on to my third grader. So my third grader and I, when I went to these sales, we were reading Misty of Chincoteague, and he was really enjoying it. And so I found Stormy Misty's Full, and I grabbed it. And then it turns out, once I looked it up, that there was a book in between the two that needed to be read. So I did order that from Amazon. Where is it? Here it is. It's called Sea Star. So we've got these two for him. Him and I, he wants to read them together with me. We'll see if we read both of them or if he ends up reading some of them on his own. But that's those. Then also, I got the Lemonade Crime. I thought I was grabbing the Lemonade War when I got it. I think they were both there. They were together. I didn't realize they were two different books, so I just grabbed the one that was priced cheaper because I thought they were both the Lemonade War. I got this one, and everything I saw said you could read it as a standalone novel, but I really wanted to read the first one. He says they sound really interesting, so I did order the Lemonade War off of Amazon so that we would have the set. I got him Ribsy by Beverly Cleary. He loved reading the Mouse and the Motorcycle series. We tried to read Ramona, but he didn't love it, which is fine. I never read Ramona growing up, so I'm not like hurt by it. But he really likes to read books about animals, so I got him Ribsy. I thought he would like the dog in it. I found this really random book, and I don't know anything about it. Actually, I think this was one my cousin was selling at the consignment sale, and when it didn't sell, she just let me take it because I don't know why I would have picked it up. It's called Nicola Berry and the Wicked War on the Planet of Whimsy. It says, Nicola and the Space Brigade continue their whirlwind tour of the galaxy as they face their toughest task yet, saving the peaceful planet of Whimsy from the scaly denizens of Volcomania. With this pair of planets on the brink of war, can Nicola and her friends help the dreamy Whimsians overcome their evil opponents? No army has ever sung, danced, and acted their way to victory, but the Space Brigade is up for the challenge. I really don't know. I think I just looked inside, and looking at the words, I said, this is something my kids can read, so I went ahead and got it. I don't know if it's any good or not. Continuing on, I got him The Secret School. This is about a girl who wants to go to school, but her school shuts down, and I think she's 14. She's going into a one-room schoolhouse, and so she decides to be the teacher so that she can further her education. The writing just looked very simple. It looks like something he can read, and honestly, I got it because I've loved every book I've ever read by Abby, so I grabbed this for him because he just needs options of things to choose to read. I got him Encyclopedia Brown Super Sleuth because I know that this is on his reading level and that it sounds like something he might enjoy reading. He doesn't love mysteries, but this looks like it'll be a quick enough read, and so I wanted him to try it so we can find out if he likes Encyclopedia Brown books and if we want to look for more. He is almost finished with, he's currently reading for school, the book Ginger Pie, which is about a dog who gets stolen, a very smart dog. That's all I really know. So far he says it's pretty good. It's kind of a mystery. He's enjoying it. The chapters are very long, so he only reads one chapter a day, and that is just fine. He is working through it and getting through it. When he finishes this for school, he's then going to read Pinkie Pie, which is the same family, but it's about their cat. The chapters in this are much shorter, which I think will make, and the book itself is shorter, so I think he will feel like he's moving faster through this one. Let's see, I got him a book by Roald Dahl called The Magic Finger. I enjoy books by Roald Dahl, so I thought I'd get it for him. It's very short. there's lots of pictures, so he'll be able to read this super fast. But I've never read this one, so I can't wait for him to read it and tell me about it, or me to read it out loud to them, whichever way we go. This also looks like something I could totally read to my kindergartner, and he would enjoy it. I was looking for a book for my 3rd grader to read as his school book when we do American history. We'll do the Revolutionary War. So I found Tolliver's Secret, which is about a girl who disguises herself as a boy and becomes a spy, I think, which is right up our alley. His brother is going to read a book about a girl spy as well. And so I think it's cool that they'll both have books that are kind of similar in topic. So I grabbed him this book called House of Robots. Again, it's not one I know anything about. I'm just trying to find stuff to spark his love of reading somehow. But it's got a lot of pictures in it. It says, robots are taking over the world. Well, they're taking over my house anyway. I'm Sammy Hayes Rodriguez, and boy, have I got a story for you. If you like robots, solving mysterious mysteries, Jamaican fruit bats, awesome bike tricks, or a legendary tale about how a kid is way smarter than grown-ups, then you've opened the right book. That's all I know about it. So we'll see where that one goes. And then the last one I got for him, again, to spark his reading, and because I've never read this one. My older son will probably steal it first, but I got Wayside School Gets a Little Stranger. We have the first, I don't know, I feel like this is like the 4th one, and it glows in the dark. How cool is that? We have the first 3 of these, at least the first 2 of these. I don't know if this is the 3rd or the 4th. And I loved the Wayside School books when I was his age, and all of my kids' age. I loved them. I just think they're funny and quirky and weird, and so, you know, I grabbed it and figured, why not have them all? Let's look at what I got my 6th grader. My 6th grader is obsessed with the military. He is certain he's going to go into the military when he grows up, and he's obsessed with World War II and anything that goes with it. So I found him this U.S. Navy Carriers book. Of course he finished reading it. I mean, it's just a little infographic, but it comes with a DVD, which we haven't gotten to watch yet, but it's a 45-minute long DVD about Navy carriers. And so I think he'll really enjoy it, because there's information about World War II Navy carriers, which is kind of when they became a big thing. I got him this Usborne book on Special Forces, which he really, really got into, and for a little while after reading this was determined he was going to be in the Navy SEALs, but I think he's not sure now. But I liked it because it just showed the history of Special Forces and kind of where all of them came from, and all the different, like, it showed him Special Forces from all over the world, not just the U.S., not just the Navy SEALs, or but it also showed him the Green Berets. It showed him some from Taiwan, I want to say. And so he really, really loved this. We found this series that he now, we're looking for the other 2 in the series, but it's called Tides of War. And it's about the animal program that the Marines have. So they're fictional accounts, but it really got him interested. So this was a story about some Marines that used a dolphin, and this one uses a seal. And apparently they really do that. I did know they used dolphins. I didn't know about seals. So that's number 1 and 2, and number 3 and 4 do a dolphin and a seal again. So he really loved these and has begged me to find the next 2 in the series. Then he got, so he finished reading A Boy at War, I think was what it was called. So I got him it's a trilogy, so I found the other 2. I don't know what order they go in. It never says, but anyways, we've got this is A Boy No More and Heroes Don't Run. And I think he's read both of them. He loved them because they're about World War II, and it's not very hard for him to love anything that's about World War II. Okay, I got him the book, The Trials of Apollo by Rick Riordan. Again, this is one he's been fighting reading. He won't read it. I checked it out from the library so many times. We love Rick Riordan. We have read all 10 of his Percy Jackson books. We've read all 3 of his Red Pyramid books. We've read his Demigods and Monsters books. It is like, if it's been by Rick Riordan, we want to read it. I think he even read Aru Shah, which is because it was recommended by Rick Riordan. It wasn't even by him. Yet for some reason, he will not read The Trials of Apollo. I don't know. So I went ahead and bought it because it was super cheap at a consignment sale. That way I can read it, and someday I will convince him to read it. Maybe if I read it, he will be inspired to read it. I don't know. And I don't know why he won't read it. Okay, these others are all just like really, really random books that I got because he loves to read and his books are really fun and I like to read them too. So I got him this book called Dragonborn because he loves fantasy. And it is about wizards and dragons. How much more can you want? It says, when a great wizard dies, his apprentice is left alone. He has great power, but he doesn't know it yet. All he knows is he needs a new master if he wants to finish his education in magic. With his dragon at his side, Sam sets out on his quest, but there are those who want Sam's power for themselves. Dangerous forces that are waiting for an opportunity to attack, and his dragon may not be able to save him. So this is the first in a series, and hopefully he reads. It sounds good. It sounds like something both him and I would like, so maybe we'll read it together. I got him Sting, which is about some kids that are burglars, and they kind of get themselves in trouble, and they have to steal a diamond from some other burglars in order to get out of trouble. I got it because it is a little different. It's not fantasy, which is what he usually reads, but he does enjoy mysteries as well. So I got it for him because I thought it sounded good, and it sounds like something that would be fun to read. Okay, I got a book called Hero. Again, this is kind of a fantasy book, so it should be right up his alley. It is about a kid whose dad dies, and then he finds out that his dad was actually a superhero, and that he is secretly a superhero, and nobody knew that. And yeah, is what happens when he finds out about it. I got him this book called Gregor the Overlander. I literally got it because Suzanne Collins is the author, and I loved Hunger Games, but I don't want him to read Hunger Games yet, which means I'm going to have to read this first to make sure it's appropriate. It sounds really weird. It's a whole series about an 11-year-old who is supposed to help the bats, cockroaches, and rats and giant spiders that are underground. Yeah, he has some role in their future, and he has to solve a mystery for it. I don't know. So I'll let you know if this is good. And then my mom got him a series. She found a series. She was really excited. She got all 3. I don't usually buy books in a series for my son because I never know if he's going to fight me about starting them. So they're called, it's like the Charlie Boone series. And I don't know anything about them. So the first one is called Midnight for Charlie Boone. It says, the mysterious and magical powers of the Red King have been passed down through his descendants. Some evil and some good turn up unexpectedly in someone who has no idea where they came from. And that's what happens to Charlie Boone. He doesn't want to believe it when he discovers he can hear the thoughts of people in photographs, but his horrible aunts are delighted. It means he's one of the chosen and must attend the Bloor's Academy for Gifted Children. Once there, he realizes some of his classmates have equally mysterious powers, and soon he's involved in uncovering the mysterious past of one of them. So that's the first one. So this is Midnight for Charlie Boone, and then you have Charlie Boone and the Time Twister, and then Charlie Boone and the Invisible Boy. And I really don't know anything. So if you know anything about those books, for sure, let me know. My mom thought they looked good and got them for him, and I was like, don't buy him a series. Like, get the first one if he likes it, then we look for the series, or we get them from the library. Yeah. So that's those. Okay. Lastly, I have really random books that I got with not really anyone in particular in mind. Maybe read alouds. They are on the level of my third grader, so he may end up reading them. Some of them are more fact books. So we got Mr. Popper's Penguins. I've never read this, but I know a lot of people have. I know it's very popular. And so I figured, and it sounds funny, it sounds like something that my kids would enjoy as a read aloud. I got The Family Under the Bridge, again thinking this could be a good, it's very short and quick, good short read aloud, or something easy for my third grader to read if he reads a longer book. Like this Ginger Pie book is longer and harder. He may need a little bit of a mental break, and something short and quick like this will just give him a lot of confidence. Okay, I also got Julie of the Wolves. I wasn't going to get this. I wasn't sure what it was about, but I read the back. Basically, it's a girl who lives as an Eskimo, but she kind of wants to stop living like with her like traditions she's grown up with. But she gets lost in the wilderness, gets brought in by a pack of wolves. They help save her. She learns to survive. Finally, it sounds like she goes back to her hometown, and she has to decide between her two lives after having lived with the wolves and seen kind of what it's all about. And it really sounds like something my boys would actually really like, this story of somebody with the wolves and out in nature. And so I went ahead and got it, thinking as a read aloud, or it looks like something my third grader could read for school. And then this is one that I've been wanting to read myself. It's called Inside Out and Back Again. It says, for all the 10 years of her life, Ha has only known Saigon, the thrills of its markets, the joy of its traditions, the warmth of her friends close by, and the beauty of her very own papaya tree. But now the Vietnam War has reached her home. Ha and her family are forced to flee as Saigon falls, and they board a ship headed toward home. This is the moving story of one girl's year of change, dreams, grief, and healing as she journeys from one country to another and one life to the next. So I was considering reading this book as a read aloud at the end of this year. We are supposed to go over kind of the Vietnam War time period in history. I'm not sure we will actually get to that, but we did cover some of that time period last year, so I'm not worried about that part. But I was considering reading this and checking it out from the library because I've heard it's really good and it sounds really interesting. And then I found it, and so I grabbed it, and I'm pretty sure we'll do it as a read aloud